Good day, Terrarians. PurpleMentat here with Calamity modded single-player Terraria Expert Revengeance Mode 1.351. Yeah, too many version numbers and titles and etc. While I was digging down after the last episode, past that original minecart track that we explored, which got us the first few goodies that we found on the way back when, ran into another minecart track in the middle of a marble biome here, and while I was checking that out, noticed that there's a couple of emerald crawlers. So I just wanted to pop back in and show you why I'm so excited about finding these, because these are going to be my ticket to getting the magical storage mod going. See, there's 4 emeralds, 6 total. I only need 1 more now. That's how good that was for me. Gotta love these hoplites. They won't attack back if you get right on top of them. The other exciting thing that I noticed while I was checking things out after getting mercilessly slaughtered by a diamond crawler right after I got to exactly this point was that if you stick marble into the recipe browser, it comes up with a couple of things that I didn't know about, like this biome blade, but that requires pearl stone, so that's way out there. This Marnite rifle, marble plus granite block. And there's a Marnite spear, marble plus granite. Oh, and some platinum, but whatever, we'll get to that. Marnite Obliterator, 57% pickaxe power, 50% axe power, and 1 extra range. That is something that sounds pretty useful, and like, I really want to get one of those going. And it's only 3 platinum, 5 granite, 5 marble. Plus, just getting this rifle spear going just sounds like fun. I kind of want to see what it can do for me. And the actual, like, melee spear. I haven't used one of them in a long time, though it's not nearly as cool as the depth blade that I already have. Other thing that I found, those... oh, what are they called? Ooh, no, they're emerald crawler. See, that's going to finish me off. The cosmic elementals have a chance to drop the enchanted sword. Pulled one of those out of one of the cosmic elementals I fought. Have no idea how common that chance is, but it was common enough that I managed to get one after without a whole lot more mining than you've seen. Wow, all of the emerald crawlers. You know, I've mostly seen emerald and diamond crawlers. Maybe I'll actually end up making a phase blade. I don't see why I would, though. It's just not going to be good compared to some of the other things that I already have. There's a tiny bit of underground snow biome here at this little juncture. We are... ooh, snow token. Haven't gotten one of them before. We are at the edges of the underground snow. Ow. And it's got a snow chest in it. Unfortunately, ice mirror. Ice skates are kind of nice. They have uses, so we'll make use of them. But not a ton that's awesome out of this box. Water walking potion, dynamite. See, nothing really exciting. We can use that. Yay, that's our 180 point. We're getting there. Careful with your control button targeting when you're trying to get into that box there. Oh, also I picked up a compass from a mother slime. Apparently that's where you get these. So once I get the... you know, from vanilla, at least. Once I get the Tinkerer, I'll be able to put the compass, the platinum watch, and the depth meter together to make the... I think it's the GPS? Whatever. So let's head over to the granite biome that I saw, and get ourselves a bit of granite, take that back upstairs, and make that Marnite Obliterator. This is when I became convinced that I couldn't just do this on my own. I've never seen, like, this extensive of a granite house before, or a granite biome in the middle of a snow biome. So there's just some cool stuff here that I thought you guys would like to see. Ooh. Burr, burr, burr. There's a granite elemental. Thought I heard a granite, granite golem, I think they're called. There's one. No need to mine granite when I can kill monsters for it. we go. It's probably as much granite block as I'll ever need. But I kind of like the look of this granite brick. Maybe I'll build a granite house this time around. It is pretty handsome stuff. Bat statue will be nice. Flare gun, meh. I mean, I guess it's kind of useful. Oh, we actually need flares for it. There's the flares. 47 flares, yeah. I'm gonna loot that on my way back out. I don't want to do any more inventory management on screen than I already have. Oh, and that's the end of this. That's it. We are as far as that mine track goes. Stop that. If I'm really lucky, I'll find a spider cave while I'm out exploring, and then we can get some cool spider fang stuff. Anything? No? We seem to have, ooh, there's another icy chest there. Let's at least get this lit up so I don't forget about it later. See if there's anything exceptional in there. Snowball cannon. 5 platinum bars. Kinda neat. We'll definitely be able to make use of that. Trying to take a slightly different approach to the hybrid where you guys get to see most of the exploration but not have to deal with all of the micromanaging that goes along with a ton of exploration. There we are. That's what I was really hoping for. Of course, if I use that with the accessory, then I put myself into spawning the Eye of Cthulhu range, and that's asking for trouble. Yeah, looks like that's the extent of the granite biome. Cool. Alright, so I'm going to go do some inventory management, and we'll go home. I'll show you the little, the tiny little potion area that I built to start farming up supplies for various potions. And we'll get going on some other cool stuff. Prepping for bosses. That ice slime is trying so hard. So's this solar guy. He'll kill that granite elemental, granite golem eventually, right? Cool. Alright, see you back up top. Alrighty, here's my tiny but evolving potion room, and we've got a few results from it so far. Had a blood moon spawn when I got back up here. I've let the game kind of run a bit so that I can grab potions while I was off doing other things like laundry and that sort of thing. I definitely recommended to start building up a stockpile of herbs and such. So now we can actually have a decent supply of some of the basic buffs, such as regeneration, iron skin, mining. Eventually we'll have a bunch of night owl and shine potions, but I need to find myself that mushroom biome before I can do that. And we'll get into my plans on how I'm gonna, you know, pull that off in the near future. By the way, if you don't want to actually fight the blood moon, just stick a torch on one side of the door, the inside, and they can't get in. They can pound on it all day long and they won't get anywhere. Works out great. You may notice that there is now a stress meter on my UI. This is because I have updated to the latest version of Calamity, 1.2, which is available from their Discord, and I will try to post a link to the latest version of Calamity in the description below. I don't know what happens when that stress meter fills up. I know that the Blood Moon night without doing a lot of fighting was relatively stressful, and it seems to be draining slowly when I'm close to NPCs and filling slowly when I'm close to, well, actually just draining slowly during the daytime. Now I'm near an enemy, and it was raising briefly, but now it's going back down again. So yeah, pretty much, who knows? I'm sure that there's very good details on exactly what that stress meter does, available in the description on the forum for Calamity, but I haven't researched them yet, so I get to be surprised by them when they inevitably bite me in the butt. Inevitably. It'll be a good time. Definitely want more Blinkroot than Daybloom at this juncture, because Daybloom is, well, I mean, it's in the name. It blooms every day. Blinkroot, on the other hand, is more of a when it feels like sort of deal. Deathweed blooms during the blood moon, which is how I have so much of it planted now, and a good bit of it, well, very little of it actually stashed. I got 10 Deathweed seeds out of one of the random herb bags I found, which was pretty nice. Frost, Shiverthorn, I think, blooms whenever it wants to. Moonglow up here blooms at night, and the Waterleaf over on this side blooms when it rains. So, gotta be a little careful to make sure you don't use it when you don't want to. Now, the thing that I wanted to dig into today, actually going to require those diamonds, these emeralds, and my lead bars. I think that's enough to get going. Yep, there we go. Storage components. We're gonna go ahead and just make like 10 of these, because we're gonna need a whole bunch. And now we can make the storage heart, which, if I understand correctly, yep, I can use the storage heart to access the magical storage mod. And to be able to add more to it, I'm going to want to use these storage components. One of the things you can make from them are storage units, which require silver bars, a chest, and the storage component. I believe the components themselves don't directly do much except provide connection between the heart and other things. I haven't reread the thread before I got started on this. So let's see. I'm going to make some more tungsten bars to go with... Yeah, we'll make 2 of the storage things right now. So we'll need 2 chests to go with that. And this should give me the ability to dump everything I want into there. Hang on. Why are you not popping up? Storage unit, 10 tungsten bars, any chest, and a storage component at a workbench. Well, I'm at a workbench. I've got storage components. Oh, I put the tungsten bars back in the chest. That's why. I didn't have the chest open. There it is. Ooh, storage crafting interface. That's one that I thought I would have to work a little harder to get my hands on. Anyway, well, let's get these storage units placed. 2 of them. And they place on walls. Same as, or I think even just as long as they connect to each other like this, they work. And you can see that they've got a little indicator. That indicator color determines how many stacks of things are in there, and whether there's anything in it at all or anything else can fit. I can break this one because it's currently empty. I can't break this one because there's something in it. The storage heart will always try to pull anything that's in one of these storage units as close to the heart as possible. And you can right-click on them to see if they are active or not and how many items they contain. Looks like... Oh, there must be a way to deactivate them. Figure it out later. I don't know why the world got darker like that briefly. That was kind of weird. Maybe because the sun went behind that rock? Sure, let's go with that. Anyway, I'm going to do a bit more research on this sometime soon, but right now, I'd also like to get that crafting interface, because it's 3 diamonds and 7 sapphires. I've got the materials to do so. I might as well go ahead. And the great thing that the crafting interface does is when it's... I can't connect it directly to this... Oh, yes, I can. There we go. When you have it, you can go ahead and... oh, I can't swing the pickaxe while I'm in that inventory. But you can go ahead and put your crafting interfaces, your crafting stations into the crafting interface. And then if I were... Ooh, here, let's add the furnace to it as well, because that'll make it real easy to show. Put the furnace in there. Now, if I can't craft with what's in my inventory, but I can, for example, put the tungsten ore into here. And now I can select recipes from over here and craft them up here. I think. Ah, you have to click craft for each one that you make. I see. Interesting. Can't place things into the interface from here. I can only do my crafting from there. So you're going to want a crafting interface next to your regular interface or your storage heart. Show all or show available. Neat. Sort by ID, filtering. This is a pretty cool mod. I'm going to have to dig into it further before I really know 100% of what I'm doing. But the important part here is I'm going to be able to put up to 80 items, 80 stacks with just these 2 storage units. And I can upgrade those storage units over time. The storage unit can turn into a Crimtane or a Demonite storage unit, which stores far more objects. There you go. This shows you it upgrades the storage unit capacity to 80. And later on, that continues along and along and along. If I search for storage, I can show you we've got the Demonite or Crimtane for 80, the Hellstone for 120, the Hallowed for 160, Blue Chlorophyte for 240, Luminite for 320, and the Terra storage upgrade for 640 stacks per unit. So early on, we're going to need a few units. Later, not so much. Now, the other really great thing, in my opinion, is the fact that I can make these storage... hang on, let me just grab all of that. Toss the gems and such, and the bars and the ore, all of that in here. Here they are, the storage connectors, which use wood and iron bar. That's why I can't make them yet. I could use those to cheaply run a wire, like, over to here, and then set up another access right there, or not the remotes, the storage access, 1 diamond and 7 topaz to do, and then I'll be able to access my storage from wherever I want to place it. The remote storage access will allow me to do the same thing wirelessly, but costs 3 diamonds and 7 rubies to do. I believe at the moment I only have 3 rubies. But yeah, this is basically, if you've ever played Minecraft, this is your applied energistics, but for Terraria, which I think is fantastic. And you can walk on top of them like platforms. So yeah, I'm going to need to, like, reset this and make it better than this. I just wanted to show off, like, why I'm excited to be able to get into the mod now, why those gem crawlers were so important to me. And I wanted to do that before I forgot and ran off without doing so. Alright, I'm going to spend more time farming potions, and I'm going to show you, like, the very basics of fishing, because it's not as intuitive as some of the other topics that we're going to be exploring. And after I'm done with the very basics of fishing, we can get into, like, actually fighting the boss. Because we really want to get a buff called Well-Fed going. Let me show you that buff real quick, if I can. Okay. What am I missing here? I need wooden bowls. That's clay bowl. Bowl of soup. Oh, requires bowl. Bowl requires clay. That's the problem. I'd used all my clay making the pots. So can't do it that way. Well, here. The merchant sells a cookie, which gives you a very short well-fed buff. Well-fed gives a minor improvement to all stats and allows your life regen to operate as if you were in normal mode instead of in expert mode. And I'm looking up the well-fed debuff on my other screen right now, which is why the music stopped and everything. I mean the well-fed buff, to give you the details. It gives me an extra 2 defense, 2% critical hit chance on all attacks, which is actually included in the tooltip. See, it's 13% critical there, and if I cancel well-fed, it's back down to 11. 5% melee speed, 5% damage, including on my summons, 50% minion knockback, and 20% movement speed. It's an extraordinarily useful buff. It gives a minor, like, all-around everything buff, and you pretty much always want to be using it, especially in expert mode. There's no reason not to, unless you're, like, running into buff limits, and that's just not going to happen. So I'm going to move this around, and then we're going to go fishing in the ocean, get some crates, and show you my favorite bits of the well-fed buff. One quick note that I just noticed, when you craft an item through the crafting interface, and yeah, it's ridiculous, I just got another Blood Moon, I had just finished one a moment ago. It actually goes straight into the storage heart, instead of in its own output slot. You can only access what's been outputted, though. Notice this when I was going to craft more storage units and didn't have the tungsten bars. It's just really well done. And interesting, I can't store storage units. It puts that right into my inventory. Yeah, didn't have enough inventory space for everything. But maybe now we do. Alrighty, real quick here. Fishing basics. You're going to want a fishing pole. You can either make the wooden one. I'd recommend making the reinforced one as soon as you possibly can, just to get that little bit of extra fishing power. You're going to want some form of bait. Your best bet is going to be just grabbing a bug net and catching whatever you can in terms of butterflies, grasshoppers from breaking grass. Head to the jungle and smack down the background objects so you can get sluggy, buggy, and grubby. Sluggy's the best of the bunch. Worms, when it rains, are great. You can combine worms with fallen stars to make enchanted night crawlers, which are super fantastic. Your bait power adds to your pole power to equal your total fishing power. Keep getting a whole lot of nothing. That's a shame. There we go. And your fishing power determines your likelihood of getting a good catch or a nothing or a junk. The end goal is to get to like 100% total, but honestly, that's not really necessary when you're just going for your well-fed buff, which is the real purpose that I'm fishing for at this very second. We're going to be able to make a couple of buff potions with our fish. That's going to help us out a lot. Now, the ocean doesn't have much in the way of special fish for us, but it does have a fairly high instance of trout and tuna, and basically no bass. Also, you can get red snapper. All three of those can be used to make sashimi at a workbench. There it is. And sashimi will provide you with 20 minutes of well-fed, giving you that little bonus to everything. Now, I was able to get everything that I needed to have 29 sashimi for a total of 580 minutes, or nearly 10 hours worth of continuous well-fed buff in just a few minutes. Like, I've been here for maybe 10 or 15 minutes. It doesn't take very long, and it is super worth it. There's one other place that is super worth fishing right now, even when you have barely anything in the way of gear and such, and we're going to go over that in just a moment. Here we are, underground. When you're fishing anywhere except the ocean, you're going to have to deal with the fact that you're not guaranteed to have enough water to make a good fishing pond. That means you're going to need to know what you need to make that fishing pond a reality. Now, the penalty for not having enough water to make for a good fishing pond is an increased rate of catching junk. If your fishing pond is large enough, which anywhere except the ocean is 300 tiles of water, and in the ocean is 1,000 tiles of water, you will not catch junk at all, no matter what your fishing power is. So especially early in the game, you want to make sure you get plenty of fishing power going, or plenty of water where you're fishing. Later on, it doesn't matter as much because you will have enough fishing power that you can completely outweigh having enough blocks. So your 10 by 30, 15 by 20, however you want to do it. Basically, I just go for big by my standards, and I'm sure that this is more than enough. I could count it, but I don't care enough to do that. So, the fish that we're here for, specifically, is the armored cave fish, which will help us make the endurance potion. That's going to give us a 10% damage reduction buff that lasts for 10 minutes, and all it takes is this fish plus some link root. I would say that the sashimi for your well-fed buff and the armored cave fish are worth fishing for early on when you don't have any fishing ability or any cool rods or anything like that. It's worth doing as soon as you possibly can. And with just the reinforced fishing pole and enchanted night crawlers, you can hit 50% fishing power, which is enough to stop junk on its own as well. So if you don't feel like digging a bit to be able to make your pit big enough, you don't have to. Do it your way. The specular fish can also be useful for recall potions, assuming you aren't finding thousands of them in your chests and exploration, and you haven't found a magic mirror just yet. They are also good for wormhole potions, which are great for multiplayer, and they're used for teleportation potions, I believe. No, teleportation potions are the chaos fish. Specular just gives the targeted teleports. And if you have your pool going off screen, this could be something that you use to double, for example, with farming for hooks. By going down to the cavern layer instead of simply the underground and digging out your fishing pit down there, you'll be able to create an area where piranhas spawn as well, and they can drop hooks for you. So you can fish while the piranhas spawn, they come at you, you kill them. Now, you can't fish while you're standing in water, so you're not going to be able to aggro them at the same time that you're fishing. Trade-offs. Anyway, options presented. Now, one more important thing. You might not have a whole bunch of water lying around the way I did to be able to make your fishing pond with. Here's an easy way around that. Terraria runs on what I like to refer to as troll physics, which means I can dump a bucket of water here, and it seems like half of it goes there and half of it goes here, but when I refill it from there, it's a full bucket. And I can keep redoing that infinitely to slowly but surely create more water until things stop working for some reason. Apparently, if you click too fast... I don't know what's going on. It's weird. Maybe something changed that I didn't notice. Nope, see? Now we're clearly have gained water in our pool because it's up to the point of these blocks. Now, when you're designing your pool, you need to remember an important part about how it measures what the blocks are. From wherever your, what the blocks that are part of the pool are. Wherever your lure lands, it'll go left until it encounters a solid block, and right until it encounters a solid block, and that column down is the pool. So right now it's counting this entire area because this doesn't encounter solid block until it gets all the way over here. But if I were instead to have things like so, if I fish here, then only the bits in between the wood count as the area that I am fishing in. So only this little strip all the way down counts as the size of the pool. It doesn't increase when it gets wider, deeper down. Something to keep in mind. Alright, that's enough with the fishing. Let me check the time. Unsurprisingly, I've run slightly over time once again, so we're going to have to call it here. Between this episode and next, I'm going to do some more fishing for armored cave fish, primarily, until I have a whole bunch of those buff potions, and I'm going to keep collecting herbs from my farm until I have a whole bunch of iron skin and regeneration and maybe swiftness. I'll look into what sort of potions are available to us with the initial set of herbs that we have available. Crates! I completely forgot to touch on crates at all. Crates are another one of the things you can get while fishing. They can come in a couple of different tiers. Wooden, iron, and golden are available everywhere, and I believe you can also get biome crates later on that give you the biome item rewards, for example, like corruption crates and that sort of thing. I haven't read up on this in a while, so I'm going off memory. Anyway, crates are cool because you can get some neat stuff in them. For example, the menacing tsunami in a bottle. That's fantastic. Now I have a double jump. Another double jump. And you can, there we go. That's what I wanted to show. You can get metals, iron bars and such. Ooh, masturbate. This stuff is great. Now, later on, we can make fishing even more profitable by creating things like the crate potion, the sonar potion, and, ooh, blood moon, the fishing power potion. But I believe they all require resources that we don't have easy access to yet. So pretty much we're just going to get the cave fish and our sashimi going and call that good for now. You don't have to do sashimi either. You can turn bass into cooked fish, which is just as good as sashimi. There's no difference anymore. Alright, that's all for this episode. Join us next time where it's either going to be continuing boss prep or it's going to be, and continuing boss prep next time is going to be in the form of digging with some spelunker potions, trying to get a whole pile of life crystals together, all so I can use them all at once and have a lot of hit points, or getting better armor. Actually, I think that I'm going to want to look into better armor, and sadly I think that's just going to be mining a lot for thorium or platinum to give me the defense that I can. Ooh, balloon pufferfish. This is cool. The balloon pufferfish is basically the fishing version of the balloon. It is a stand-in for the shiny red balloon, and you can combine it with the tsunami in a bottle at a Tinkerer's Workshop to make a shark run balloon, which is a double jump with increased jump height, and then you can tie a horseshoe to that to make the pink horseshoe balloon, same as the other way. And then all of that is used for the trawler soul, which is like the super fishing soul. The fish catch themselves, increase fishing skill substantially. All fishing rods have 9 extra lures. That's right, Fargo adds extra lures to your fishing rod, so you can catch multiple things at a time. It's a crazy little mod. I like it a lot. So yeah, next time it's probably going to be the hunt for better armor, so that we can then take on the bosses, because I'd really like to start down the, like, killing things progression path. I feel like I've gone too long without being able to kill anything for cool loot. Thank you very much for joining me. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please leave a thumbs up and tell me what you liked. And if you have not, leave a thumbs down and tell me why. Either way, if you'd like to see more of these episodes in the future, please click that subscribe button. And I'll see you next time.